Introduction. Gauss' theory of gravity is a geometrical theory and is well suited to be explained by images. For instance, the way a star affects the space around it, it can easily be displayed by a curved surface. The very heart of the theory, the curved spacetime, is however fundamentally difficult to display using curved surfaces. The reason is that the Lorentz signature gives us a negative squared distance, something that we never have on ordinary curved surfaces. Curved surfaces. However, we can illustrate much of the spacetime structure using the flat diagrams that include the light cones. Famous examples of this are the Kruskal and Penrose diagrams. See, for example, reference 1. Such pictures are valuable tools for understanding black holes. This article describes a method that lets us visualize not just the causal structure of spacetime, but also the scale, the proper distance. It is my hope that these illustrations can be of help in explaining the basic concept of general relativity to a general audience and exploring the possibilities of this method. I use the language of mathematics of general relativity. The level is that of teachers or skilled students of general relativity. The resulting illustrations can, however, be used without any reference to mathematics to explain concepts like gravitational, time dilation, cosmological expansion, horizons, and so on. In Sec 2, I give a brief introduction to the concept of the curved spacetime, using the method of this article and consider a few examples of physical interest. This section presumes no knowledge of general relativity. In Section 3, I explain the method underlying the illustrations thus far, and also apply it to a black hole and a hollow star. In sections 4 to 8, I present the general formalism, demonstrate how to use it to produce embeddings, and investigate the geodesic properties of the formalism. These sections are of more technical character. In sections 9 to 13, I apply the formalism to various types of spacetimes. In sections 14 to 16, I relate this work to other similar approaches and comment on this article. Sections 17 and 18 include some pedagogical questions and answers. Can then draw a little triangle. What is this? And answers. 2. Introduction to curved spacetime. Consider the clock moving along a straight line. Special relativity tells us that the clock will tick more slowly than the clock at rest as illustrated in Figure 1. Consider two events on a moving clock separated by a time dt and a distance dx as seen relative to the system at rest. We can illustrate the two events and the motion of the clock in the spacetime diagram as depicted in Figure 2. Time is directed upwards in the diagram. The motion of the clock corresponds to a word line in the diagram. The proper time interval dt is the time between the two events according to the moving clock, which is given by squared 2. Here the velocity of light noted in the limit as the speed of the clock approaches the speed of light. We have dx as cdt, and thus from equation 1 we have dt as 0. A clock moving almost at the speed of light will thus almost not tick at all relative to the clocks at rest. It is customary to choose the axis of spacetime diagram in such a manner that motion at the speed of light corresponds to a line that is inclined at a 45-degree angle relative to the axis of the diagram. At every point in the diagram, we can then draw a little triangle with a 90 degrees opening angle, known as a light cone. The rightmost edge of the triangle corresponds to a right-moving photon, and the leftmost edge corresponds to a left-moving photon. No material objects can travel faster than the velocity of light, which means that the word lines of objects must always be directed within the local light cone. Curved spacetime. In GR, we have a curved spacetime, which may illustrate by a curved surface with little locally flat coordinate systems, known as Minkowski systems, living on it as illustrated in Figure 3. The little coordinate systems on the surface work precisely as the spacetime diagram of Figure 2. In particular, the word lines of moving objects must always be directed within the local light cone. To find out how much the clock has ticked along its windings word line, we consider the nearby events along the word line and sum up the dt's we get using equation 1, where dt and dx are the same and are the time and space separation between the events as seen relative to the local Minkowski system. B. The spacetime of a line through a dense star. As a specific example, let us consider the spacetime of a line through a very dense star, as depicted in Figure 4. The circles around the surface correspond to fixed positions along the line through the star. The lines directed along as opposed to around the surface correspond to fixed coordinate time known for this particular case as Schwarzschild time. Consider now two observers, one at rest in the middle of the star and the other at rest far to the left of the star. The word lines of these observers are circles around the middle and the left end of the spacetime. Obviously, the distance measured around the spacetime is shorter at the middle than at the end. This means that the proper time, the experienced time per turn around the spacetime, is shorter in the middle than at the end. From this, we may understand that time inside the star runs slow relative to time outside the star. To be more specific, consider the following scenario. Let an observer far outside the star send two photons separated by a time corresponding to one lap towards the center of the star. The corresponding word lines of the photons will spiral around the surface and arrive at the center of the star, still separated by one lap. The points where the photons arrive at the center would in this illustration be the same, but there are different points. There are different points in spacetime because the surface is layered as in the paper roll. Since the distance around the central part of the spacetime is smaller than that toward the ends of the spacetime, the observer is in the center of the star will experience a shorter time between the arrival of the two photons than the time between the emission of the two photons as experienced by the center. This effect is known as gravitational time dilation and is a consequence of the shape of spacetime. Alternatively, we may note that the lines of constant coordinate time are lying closer to each other in the middle of the spacetime surface than at the ends. An observer inside the star will therefore observe that the local clock showing Schwarzschild coordinate time is synchronized with the proper clock far outside the star. It takes much faster than the clock measuring proper time within the star. We may then understand that an observer inside the star we will see the universe outside the star evolving at a faster rate than that experienced by an observer outside the star. Freely falling motion, accordingly to GR, an object thrown out radially from the surface of the star moving freely, so there is no air resistance, for instance, takes the path through spacetime such that the proper time elapsed along the word line of the object is maximized. Consider then two events. At the surface of the star separated by some finite time only. It is easy to imagine that the particle traveling between the two events will gain a proper time by moving out toward the larger embedding radius, where the circumference is greater. Before moving back to the second event, on the other hand, it cannot move out too fast, since then it will move at the speed too close to the speed of light, whereby the eternal clock hardly ticks at all. See Figure 5. To predict the motion of an object that has been thrown out from the star and returns to the same location after a specific amount of time, we can thus consider different pairs of events, as in Figure 5, and find the word line that maximizes the integrated proper time. This trajectory corresponds to the motion that we are seeking. Thus we can explain not only gravitational time dilation but also the motion of thrown objects using images of the type shown in Figure 4 and 5. Next is the cosmological models. We will continue with this at about around 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock.